Well, I'll give you an update on Jana Thompson to start things off. Jana had successful surgery when she came back on Monday morning. We came back, the people in South Carolina did a great job Sunday afternoon. We splinted her leg. There was just a fracture to a dislocation of the ankle and a fracture of the fibula. It did not go through the skin, so we were able to splint it and take her back to Lexington Sunday night. Her mother arrived in town Sunday night, and we operated Monday around noon. So very successful surgery. They are extremely optimistic of her recovery and the possibilities of her recovery and what she will be able to do, and we'll miss the rest of the season, but we are extremely optimistic that by the time the players gather up for summer school in June, that she will be fully participating, and we'll not know that she was injured if everything goes as the doctors feel like it will go. So we're very appreciative of our doctors here, did a great job as always. And the final thing I'll say before I take some questions on it is the outpouring of support from people literally all over the country. It was an amazing experience. It was a very uplifting experience on Sunday with how the South Carolina people responded, from their coaches to their players to the crowd responded in such a classy manner. Afterwards, it just continued as we got excellent medical care there. The athletic director offered a plane to fly her back. It was an unbelievably uplifting experience, and such a tough time when you see a player go through an injury like that. It was very uplifting to see that, and then just all of the support we've received from people who aren't even connected to our program, who just saw it on television and who have sent their thoughts, prayers, and support. So we're a very grateful team and program, and we are excited for Jana to start the recovery process and get back to full speed. So anything else we want to talk about Jana before we start talking about the game?
Coach, what was the response from her mother about that? What were her thoughts?
Yes, everyone's very positive, appreciative of how everything's been handled, and so it's been a very positive experience. Yes, everybody's been very grateful.
Is she out of the hospital?
She is. She's out. She didn't have to stay overnight out of the hospital and resting, and
Should be able to go to classes? How does that work?
at some point didn't go today. She's just, it's tough surgery, and so still with some pain and just trying to bounce back. But we'll just help her get around for a while and help her get to class to and from, and just do everything that we can. But I was with her after the surgery. I was with her yesterday. I have not gone by yet today and checked on her. So yesterday, she was, not thinking about class or going to class. Wasn't feeling that good. She still has some pain and on some pain medication, things like that. But all in all of what it could have been and how bad it could have been, it turned out to be a season-ending injury. But we're very, hopeful for her recovery.
And the T-shirts, were those made for the team?
Yeah, well, yes. T-shirts are our one and singular goal for this season for this team was to try to see how, if we could possibly become the very best that this team could be, and so that's kind of, we put the number 3 here for the E, and our best is what we'll continue to try to be, and Jana will be a big part of that, but certainly can't be on the floor, so it's just a way to honor her, and we'll be wearing these as shooting shirts, and just making sure that she's at the forefront of our mind and everything that we do. And I've told Jana, she has a lot she can still do for this team. She has developed into an incredible leader. She's developed into an incredible example of sacrificing personal things that might have been holding her back as far as her development, and just really buying into the process of this program: honesty, hard work, discipline, being high character, being a person of great preparation, being a person that was willing to sacrifice, all the things that we try to teach. She's really become a part of and is a great example of that. So she's a powerful force on our team and will continue to be that. And so we are moving in a positive direction through what's a tough situation.
Sorry. Matthew, how difficult has it been to think about moving forward in terms of how you handle your roster and prepare for games?
Well, that's not that difficult because this is a part of athletics, and there are injuries, and so you always make certain that you are 100% invested into the injured player and making sure that she's has a good plan for recovery and a good plan for rehabilitation, and you can do both things at once. You can do that, and then you can make sure that the team understands that how we're going to rally around her during this time. But you also have a season to play and a team that's still playing, and so we always put people first here. We always are more interested in what kind of people they are, and so it's been a beautiful thing to see the players rally and everybody rally, and so it's a difficult situation, but as far as our response, it's just what we do here.
Do you recall a time during your career here we've had these kind of injuries? I don't want to say in bunches, but just gone through a rash like this.
It's a great question, and
as a follow-up, I was going to say that how do you get everybody to kind of adjust their mindset to expanded roles and minutes?
Well, I'll say this, it's been incredible how fortunate we've been over the last 5 or 6 years as we've really been building this program into a nationally recognized program and have, done things that the Kentucky program had never done before. It's been amazing how fortunate we've been as far as injuries go. And so this has been a tough run for us, but you don't hang your head now, because all it reminds me of is how incredibly fortunate we've been over the years. When an injury might have meant the difference between you being an NCAA tournament team or not, or having a winning record or not, and so we've been fortunate. So we have not had this kind of challenge before, but the way that you deal with it is we have a very talented group of players. We're not the most talented group of players left standing in the country, but we are a talented group, and Janae makes us less talented because she's such a great talent and has been performing so well for our team, but it certainly does not mean we can't go out and function and be a successful basketball team and be our very best. And so if you look at our roster, we have two very capable players in Michaela and Jen who can run the point position. Teams that play a certain style, you can even have Bria and Lene run the point position. So we are in a functioning position, and I think that we're in a position where we can be successful. And so as a coach, what you do is you make sure that everybody understands that while this is a tough blow, the best thing you can do to honor Janae is to go out and really focus and fill in the gap that is created when she leaves, and also to believe in themselves that they can continue to improve and we can be the best team possible. So you just move forward. You just keep an incredibly positive attitude. You just fight for your positive attitude and energy every day, and you go to work. And so that's how we'll plan on dealing with it. Are there some rocky days ahead and rough times ahead. We don't know. That could have happened if Jana didn't get injured. So this is just a really tough league, and there are no breaks, and so you just have to battle forward. But you can't hang your head and look backwards and figure out, why did it happen, or feeling sorry for yourself. You got to really have to march forward, and that's what you have to do in life too. So it's just a great opportunity all the way around for us to step up to a great challenge and meet it.
You mentioned Bria. She looked like she was doing warm-ups at South Carolina.
Yep.
Does this speed up her time frame, or is she on her way back? Or?
No, we had a long discussion Sunday, and she probably could have played Sunday. I thought long term for our team that more time was better, and so I just made the decision Sunday that I was not going to play her, and so she could have come back Sunday. She'll be back Thursday. She participated in practice yesterday, working hard, so that's a blessing that we can get her back. I don't know to what extent she's going to. I don't know. I can't give you a percentage on how she can perform. I know she can perform very well defensively. She's shooting the ball great right now. It's still tender, and she's not 100% in the hand, but she's cleared to play, and she's going to give it a whirl Thursday night, and that'll help us tremendously.
Coach, with Thompson's injury, you kind of have to find a way to go with the offense. You called the South Carolina game with your interior offense kind of pathetic. With that injury,
zone offense in the second half was very, very poor.
Right, and does this injury and their play in South Carolina? Do you want more of Bria to sub in when she's back into the guard role, or do you kind of speed up the role of the interior play in your mind?
Well, it's Janae's injury doesn't change anything for the development of our interior players, our post players. They need to develop, and they need to get better, and a lot of Kyvan, Alyssa, and Alexis is mental development, emotional development, just as growing as people and as players. So they need some help technically getting better as players with their technique around the basket, and so all of and emotionally letting things go. Everybody has different issues that they're dealing with about how they process a good play or a bad play. So all of that is not impacted at all by the injury. Now, what the injury does for us is it just makes everybody right now, the margin for error just is reduced here. It just is. If Michaela wants to have a lousy day today, she's really going to hurt the team. Where if Janae's there, you could kind of, in her mind, she may think, well, Janae can do it, and I'll just have a lousy day. You can't do that. Or if the post players say, hey, I'm not going to be focused today, and I'm going to have a lousy day, and I'll try it again tomorrow because I know Michaela can slide in at the 4. It's just not where it is. So it does need to heighten everyone's sense of awareness of their responsibility to the team. So it does impact everyone from that standpoint. But as far as our post players need to develop, whether anybody else gets hurt or not, there's just some developing we need to do. They made a big jump last week. They competed. They were not as talented as South Carolina's post players in physical in what God gave them, height and athleticism, and they battled tooth and nail. We played good enough defense to win that game, and so that was a big positive for us in their development. I think where it impacts us in the guard spots is Michaela now has to be the point guard. She's been playing 3 and 4 different positions, and so for a sophomore that struggles a little bit with focus, this may be a great thing for her, that she can get really locked in on the point guard position, and she can know what she needs to do, and can maybe fill in here and there at some times when Jen's at the point, but Michaela needs to become our point guard, and Jen is very capable of helping us in a pinch, and Jen needs to focus on being a great scorer and great defender. Jennifer O'Neill's defense has just transformed our chances here of becoming the team that we want to be. She's really been tenacious, but she's got to do that now, because if she decides to have a bad day, Janae's not there to pick up the slack. So to say that it doesn't matter, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we have to find a way forward here. And that's what we're working hard on doing, and that's what we will do.
Have you, two questions that are sort of related. Have you talked to the SEC office or the officials about what happened at the end of that game? Did you express any concerns to them? And then was there a plan in place, and is there a plan in place now? If you're not able to coach in a game, who is in charge?
Yeah, that's, so what happened, I'm not sure what you mean, what happened at the end of the game.
When you got tossed, I mean, you clearly were unhappy with the officiating.
Right.
You can't express that to us, but
Right.
have you met with the SEC about some concerns over calls or anything like that?
Well, there's a process in place for that, and certainly I've been in close contact with the SEC, and we have a person who's in charge of the officiating who is very willing to talk and exchange or engage in dialogue, and so, you know, I've definitely been in contact with them, and so what you do, the process there is you go back to the video and you analyze that and you collect that, and then you have then you give that over to the supervisor, and then they look at it, and so that is that's that process, and that process is ongoing, and it's the way that we handle that, and so going forward, we spoke with each other after the game, because it was such an unusual situation. It just happened so quickly and so fast. I had no intentions of being ejected from the game. I was not, I was not trying to, make it a 15-minute ordeal and go, and just, so it happened very quickly. And so the first thing is I'll be working very hard not to get ejected from any more games. And it was my first ejection, And it was very sudden. It was shocking to me. I didn't even know what had happened by the time I was walking down the corridor there. But some people have said that I was in competition with Cal and that I just couldn't allow him to be tossed from South Carolina, that I had to be tossed. Those rumors are not true. That was I was not trying to show up Coach Calipari at all, and so going forward, we're discussing how, I think the plan needs to be more if I'm ill or something, we won't have another ejection, hopefully. So to answer your question, we have really been kind of dealing with Janae's situation and getting everything going, and it will be something before Thursday night's game. We'll have a succession of power there where people can know what they need to be doing. But from what I can tell, Tamika and Adney and Crystal did a good job there and helped out, and the players rallied, and Bria Goss I thought you have to remember a couple minutes before this, we just had a player whose leg was, whose ankle was turned the other way. And so, everybody was a little worked up. And I think a little shocked all around. And then, that thing just the ejection was very sudden, and I think everybody did the best they could in that situation.
That sort of leads into my question. Obviously, it was a very horrific injury, and obviously the players, and rightfully so, seemed pretty upset at the time. Have you had to deal with them at all on an emotional level about something like that, or are they pretty resilient kids at that age?
Once they saw her once we got her, well, here's how all that went. It was very difficult. And so I just went into the huddle and I said, let's get together here. She's going to get the very best medical care she can get. She already has. These people have been unbelievable on the court, but you've got to get in control here because we can win this ball game. And so that kind of snapped them. At least we stopped the, they were clearly in despair. They were crying and very upset. And so I thought that they snapped out of that pretty quickly. Now, I don't think anybody on our side was right from at 100%. And I thought, when I did get ejected, we had just stolen the ball, 6-point game. We're going, and this is how fast your mind works. We stole the ball. She's going for a layup. That cuts it to 4. Then you see what I clearly thought was a foul happening. So then your mind works this fast. That's even better because now we'll get 2 free throws, and now we can set our press up. So we were in it. I mean, we were, after all of that stuff, we were in it. And what I thought about to cut it to 4 and set our press up again, they just turned it over. And so the only reason I mention that is I think the players handled it really well. And then when we got back to the locker room, I just took them through everything that had happened on the floor. And a lot happened out there on the floor. And I just told them everything that Janae said. I told them everything the doctor said. And so they appreciated that. I think people just want to know. And then as soon as they knew she wasn't staying overnight and we put her on that plane and they all got to spend some time with her, they came back. They were off Monday. I kept them abreast of everything that I could on the surgery. And then we had just a great day together yesterday, practicing, spent some time together as a team. When I was over at the hotel, when I was leaving, a bunch of players were coming over. So I think that they have handled it well. And other than just informing them, I think that they're a pretty good group, pretty resilient, and they will rally. They love Janae now. They love Janae, and I expect everyone to really, really work hard right now to try to get better.
Yeah. This kind of leads into my question, that how hard has it been to kind of regain their focus and look ahead to Florida, especially considering how competitive you all have been with the Gators?
Yeah. Let me say this: we started very early yesterday morning. It was our last day before we returned to classes, and we started very early. And Tuesday for us is a time to start the week out with some very intense individual, small groups, individual defensive fundamentals, defensive tenacity, defensive toughness. And the first group that showed up very early yesterday morning went after it and got after it and worked incredibly hard. And the day just continued on from there. And so they did not show any signs of lacking focus because of Janae. Our post group lacks focus because they are 3 freshmen and 1 senior, and Jalea Sidney's starting to progress, and that's going to help us a lot. Jalea Sidney practiced yesterday, and if we can keep her going, that's going to help us there. But our post group was not lacking focus because of Janae yesterday. They just lacked focus in general. But the challenge with Florida is immense. You can just forget about the game, their last game that they played. They didn't have Needles. Needles is very, very important to them. Very senior, tough, and a winner. And you have to believe that those kids coming back, and they've got a lot of kids back, have tremendous confidence playing against Kentucky because they, 2 out of the 3 last year, we won 1, but the other 2, they made tons and tons and tons of plays against us. So they're still good, explosive at the guard. Lewis and Williams in the post are a handful for our post players. You know, we have a huge challenge ahead of us. So I have not seen us lacking focus yesterday. I thought yesterday was a good day and a step forward, and we need to have a tremendous day today. We need to have a terrific practice tomorrow before tomorrow night's game, and we've got to come out incredibly focused and energized to beat a very tough Florida team. One thing that it doesn't matter what Florida's record has been, has been. They just always seem to be extremely prepared. Coach Butler does a great job, and I'm not expecting anything other than a very difficult game. And we've got to find a way to be tough enough to win as we kind of figure out everybody's enhanced role with the loss of Janae.